All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99, all boxing, everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, so Fight Week is here. We are finally here, and I'm just like every other hardcore boxing fan. I'm hyped. I mean, this is only Monday evening, at the time of this recording, and, I'm already thinking of the possibilities, even more so than I have been last week and the week before, about how this fight can go. And just thinking about how others are going to react to this fight, y'all know what time it is, man. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford. This is probably one of the biggest welterweight fights in the history of boxing for a while now. I mean, we have Floyd and Manny, but I've already told y'all how I felt about that fight, just as far as being like this super fight. But to me, there's a difference between like super fights and significant fights, you know what I mean? Like really, really much needed significant fights, legacy defining fights. Sometimes super fights are just super fights, because of names. But significant fights of this magnitude, they have to happen. They have to happen for the good of boxing, for the sport of boxing. And Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, this fight's been a long time coming, long time talked about. We got fans on both sides showing a lot of emotion. So I just kind of wanted to do a real quick video here and just kind of give my overall thoughts before the fight. I'll probably stop through again, do another video, of course, as far as a technical standpoint. I still want to talk about the punching styles of both fighters. I will drop a video as soon as I can on that one. But shout out to my man Boxing P. Because as y'all know, we have the Jab podcast, which has been on hiatus for a little bit, because we've been busy doing other things. But we're going to come back tomorrow and, just kind of discuss the fight as a whole. We're going to discuss everything that's just been going down. We didn't try to stretch it out like some channels do, which is cool, trying to keep everybody updated. But we're just going to kind of sit back, as soon as we can catch up tomorrow and discuss the fight, and everything that's been going on with it. But as far as like the build up to this fight, it's been a crazy one. It's been a dramatic one. And I've never seen, well, I'll say of the past couple eras, that have been around for the sport of boxing, I haven't really seen the fan base of both fighters just get up in arms, when it comes to defending their favorite fighter right now like this. I mean, I've seen how Canelo fans acted before, fighting outside of a Triple G match, in the parking lot. Or you've seen how Lomachenko fans can react, and you've seen how just fans in general act when it comes down to boxing. But the more and more people get YouTube channels and the more social media is involved, like Twitter and Instagram, especially Twitter, man, like whenever, Twitter gets involved and you got family members involved with fighters, it's just crazy how you can see so many fighters, so many fight fans, just come to defense of their favorite fighter. And that's how the buildup has been to Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. So we're kind of in a different age now where fights are being promoted in a new way. Like we used to see promotions on TV and a lot, YouTube ads and different things like that. Like I've seen a few Facebook ads for Spence Crawford and on YouTube, where you always hit skip ad. But when it comes down to this type of promotion, it's just been like YouTube has really been carrying this fight on its back. So in a way, you kind of got to give a lot of the YouTubers props. I know sometimes they can get on your nerves whenever, they're being too one-sided or, just going in and still pointing the blame. Oh, it's Spence's fault. Oh, it's Crawford's fault why this fight didn't happen. You get tired of hearing that stuff. But for the most part, it's like the world of YouTube and social media has really been building this fight up and keeping it alive and keeping it thriving. And I think people will really be surprised on how well this fight does, because you got a lot of NBA players and NFL players that are going to show up for this. A lot of celebrities, so this fight is bigger than you think it's going to be. So, yeah, I like that. That's the one aspect I do like, that it has been getting the people involved a little bit more, and you can really see that this fight is much needed in boxing. I mean, Tank Ryan, okay, it was entertainment, but this is a fight that just has so much behind it. Like I said in my previous video, there's like this intensity, and there's this point where, we've been seeing what Crawford does on one side and what Spence has been doing on one side, and they've been in the same division for this long right now, with all the belts in their hands, 3 for Spence, 1 for Crawford, you just dying for them to finally meet up, because you can only talk about the fight for so much and just keep discussing it. It has to happen. It's inevitable. Like, it has to happen. Like, this, it's just one of those fights that couldn't be done without making it. I mean, the last time we seen that done, it was like Bo and Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe, right? But even then, like, after a while, it kind of faded. It kind of faded out. I mean, still one of the heavyweight fights I wanted of all time. But for some reason, with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, with what they both accomplished and what they both claim and brag about themselves, and they're side by side in the same division, just beating all these other common opponents, it would be crazy for it not to happen. And that's why I say this is like this real significant fight, even more so than Floyd and Manny, because Floyd and Manny, they were like multi-division world champions. They never were really on the same path. Like, they were never really in the point of crossing paths like early in their careers. Like, I always saw Floyd just doing his own thing. Manny was this real smaller fighter, doing his own thing, and they were building up their legacies. They were building up their legacies, on their own, without even mentioning each other's names. Manny was beating a lot of the young Mexican fighters down here. Floyd, he was over here schooling everybody in his weight class and moving up, So, and they were getting names. They both had their own respective careers. That's why whenever people tried to talk up the Floyd-Manny fight, at a point I was like, oh, this is going to happen? Really? Doesn't really need to happen. But, it came to a point when they both were in the same division at 147 that it was almost like it had to happen, right? But even then, I was still like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. I mean, both of these guys, they've done so much that I don't really question their legacies. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's really needed. That's why I call that one more of just like this super fight. It's just like a super fight to cap off. It's not really going to tell you Manny's the best in the world, Floyd's the best in the world, because they both are pound for pound greats. They both done so much, and they both have won so many world titles outside of the welterweight division, right? But when it comes down to Errol and Terence may be a multi-division world champion. Errol, he has 3 belts, and he's taking them all off of world champions. But they still don't have those decorated resumes like Floyd and Manny. That's why I call this a fight more so of significance than Floyd and Manny. It's a fight that I can't go without seeing. No boxing fan can, because it's going to leave a lot of questions unanswered. See, with Floyd and Manny, they've done so much in their careers where I don't question anything about them. I'm not going to say, I question Floyd's heart or Manny's heart. Oh, can Manny take a punch? Can Manny fight a boxer? Can Floyd fight? Can he neutralize a fast southpaw? He's done that before. Zab Judah, Sean Bay Mitchell, different guys like that. Of course, it wasn't Manny, but still, you've seen that before. But like, with these two guys being in the division back to back for 5 years without ever moving up, and Terence Crawford moved up in 2018, right? 5 years ago. So they've been in the same division for 5 years. 5 years now. And they've just been fighting side by side, handling all these other opponents with one-sided beatings. There comes a point where we're like, okay, you two have got to fight. We're sick of seeing you fight these other guys, because you two are both welterweights right now, and you two really need names. That's how I see it, because Terence has won a lot of accolades, a lot of accomplishments, but he doesn't really have great names on his resume. Errol has better names, but it's still not like the Floyd Manny name. So you got to get that name on your resume, and Terence Crawford. So everybody's considered him pound for pound best, and they even think he can beat you. So you got to get that name on your resume, and whenever you do, that'll push you to that next level of being one of the all-time greats. That's why this fight is a more of a significant fight, because it's that type of fight that's going to decide who's that fighter, who's that fighter of this era that can do like an Ali Frazier and, dig deep in those later rounds, and who can get into those championship rounds and just turn everything around and into their favor and fight just completely off of heart and, give it their all. and they get stronger in the fight. It's like they get stronger in the fight every time they take a punch or they get hurt. They just say, oh, I'm not done. I'm coming back. Bo Holyfield style, Ali Frazier style, right? It's that type of Hagler Leonard, that type of fight, So it's a fight that's gonna make him. It's a fight that's gonna make him an all-time great to me, and that's what I mean by a significant fight. Something that's gonna help solidify their legacy as one of the greats in there. So as we get closer to this fight, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But I just wanted to jump on and just kind of give the whole overview of what's been going on and what I thought about it, as far as the build up. I definitely won't say this fight. I definitely can't say that, there was ever a point where I thought Spence or Crawford were like ducking each other or anything like that. I think we just live in an age where in boxing, fighters are starting to wise up, thanks to Floyd Mayweather. They're starting to look at their financial gains, and they want to make sure everything is taken care of. They want to make sure I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and they're getting everything that they deserve, So fans aside, they're going to say, you know what? If I can get this, I'm going to hold out. If I can't get this, I'm holding out. Forget the fight. You know what I mean? Eventually it's going to happen, but they're going to push it back. They're going to push it back. And it doesn't come down to anybody being scared in this fight. That's what I want people to know. I don't think Spence and Crawford were ever scared of each other. They just wanted to get as much as they could out of this fight, or what they felt they deserved. All right. So, also, looking at the media workouts, definitely looking at the definition and, Spence's physique, and Terence Crawford, just looking at his resilience as far as, just putting in that work, sparring, and the bag work and everything he's been doing, the running, the road work both fighters have been doing. You just know this is going to be a good fight because they are ready to prove themselves. They've been waiting for this fight. That's more proof that nobody's ducking. I mean, their mind frames just seem so much different than any of the other fights, and that's what makes this fight so scary. Like better than Spence Ugas, better than Crawford versus Booker Khan, better than Spence Porter, even though that was a good fight. This is just that one, because we know that this is the one where we're going to see how their skills match up to the pound for pound best boxers in the world against each other. You know what I mean? Like whenever they look at each other, we're going to see how those skills, when they get in there, we're going to see how those skills match up against each other. Terence Crawford, always known as that boxer that's gifted, has a lot of tools, but we got a guy in Errol Spence who has the right tools for the right time too. People always talk about his lack of tools, but hey, Spence has always had the right tools for the right, for the right situations, and that's another thing I might talk about in another video. It's not all about having more tools. It's all about having the right tools for the right situation. And that's what we're going to see Saturday night, man. I can't wait, man, because, it's been a long time coming. Last time I really had butterflies for this type of fight, I believe, was like Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev. And I think this is going to be that same type of tempo a little bit, where you're going to see somebody have to maybe get up off the canvas and dig deep. And you might see the big physical boxer in here controlling the slick boxer at some point, but the slick boxer might come back. We just don't know how it's going to play out, y'all. But, definitely needed fight for this state of boxing. State of boxing has been better this year, but I think that, in order to solidify some guys again on that level of Hearns, Leonard, these type of significant matches need to happen. Not just super fights, but significant matches for us hardcore fans. But yeah, guys, I'll be back with another one. Like I said, be on the lookout tomorrow for me and my man Boxing P. We'll try to jump back into the mix and discuss this fight together. Make sure y'all subscribe here. Got some new subscribers. Let's go ahead and get me to 1,000 here pretty soon, y'all. And, I can, really start breaking things down for y'all. And I'm going to do a fight companion for Spence Crawford on Saturday night for y'all. So, can't show the fight, but, I'll try to get on cam and call the fight with y'all. And we'll maybe even try to put up some scorecards on who I think's winning some rounds. How about we do that? So, guys, hit that like button and subscribe. All boxing, everything. I'm out. Peace.